Planning and Zoning meeting for Monday, March 9th. Everyone could please ride for the invocation by Ted and stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Bill.
Heavenly Father, we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, and to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and the community. Bless this commission, our city leaders, our fellow Maricopians, and the men and women in uniform who provide us the opportunity and freedom to do so. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and our efforts here tonight. May we act wisely and well. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Call to the public. If you wish to speak, please complete a speaker card and submit it to the chairman prior to the start of the meeting. The procedures to follow if you address the commission are: commission requests that you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory statements about city employee, a fellow citizen, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The chairman will limit discussion whenever he deems such an action appropriate to the proper conduct of the meeting. And I skipped roll call, so we'll circle back to that. Sorry about that. Thank you. I was already on a roll.
Commissioner Brems, here. Commissioner Robertson, here. Vice Chair Klob,
Here.
Commissioner Yoakum,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Whittle.
Present.
Vice Chair, we have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you. That leads us to the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from February 9th?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. First item on the agenda for discussion and action, GPA 25-03. We're going to hear both of these at the same time? And PAD 25-04. Larry, take it away. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Vice Chair, Commissioners. Larry Mason, here to present a community project known as Sunrise Ranch. I just want to note, before I go in there, I'd like to have you understand that this item came in May 2025. We've had several discussions with Gamage and Burnham. I appreciate staff being willing to work with all of our divisions in development services. So finally, now we can bring this to you. So this site is located about half a mile west of Green Road and SR 238. In the dashed boundary, you're looking at about 150 acres. Of that 150 acres, the applicant requests about 12.9 acres to be amended in the general plan amendment. We're looking to move from medium density residential for that 12 acres to high density residential, and a PAD over the entire 150 acres to develop some standards. Okay. I just want to go into the details of the minor GPA request. Again, this is 12.9 acres. The request is to move out of the 2 to 6 dwelling units per acre to the 6+ dwelling units per acre. You can see it in the second map. I just also noting the City of Maricopa's 2025 housing needs assessment identified missing middle housing at the city, and in the form of condominiums, townhomes, duplexes, and patio homes. And this project is looking to bring this to us. And the details of the planned area development of the 150 acres would be moving from the industrial zone CI2 to PAD. This request boasts 50 acres of usable open space that would develop community pedestrian trails throughout and around the perimeter, as well as connectivity to the broader master plan trails network system. I mentioned before that staff was in discussion with the applicant since May of 2025. Here's the circulation plan that we've come up with. This is based on trip generation for single-family homes producing the most trips. We wanted ease of access to the corner for everyone on site. And we kind of went in between. Planning would love the trail system and the connectivity, and engineering didn't love the cutoff, so we came to this place. After having established that, if you look to the right, you'll see the open space and circulation. You can see it begins to build from there. I'm showing you what I would call the landscape plan at this stage. This is also informing you of some of the drainage basins that will be improved, and note the perimeter of this site will be a walkable trail system for all residents on site. And the pedestrian trails mapped to the right, you'll see some of those trails delineated. When it comes to the PAD deviation from Maricopa City Code, you can see there's 4 immediate requests on development standards, a reduction of minimum lot width and lot area, and an increase of lot coverage, and for both single and multiple story. And then at the bottom, I'm showing you here that in addition to those, we're also requesting a increase for the wall height from the residential 6 feet to 8 feet, and that would be designed as 2 feet of retaining wall with 6 feet of screening. On the single family attached standards, this would take place if ultimately the minor GPA is approved. This table is the best I can do to try to show you how these standards would change. So we're going from multiple unit residential. You're seeing lot sizes of 7,000 square feet and high density residential of 7,000 square feet. The applicant has given us 2 options to consider for minimum lot sizes for single family detached units. In addition to that, just comparing that to existing zoning standards, you can see a development of what these standards may look like. So I can go through those. We can always visit this again, but you're seeing some of them remain, such as 20% of the overall site. You can see in both option A and option B at the bottom that they are including 50 square feet of private space per unit. I'm noting here that this isn't the full exhaustive list that you may have read in the PAD. This PAD also introduced both front and rear loaded setbacks as well as setbacks for garages, which I'm pointing to Exhibit F for those. In terms of what's going on the site, the VCOL wash is about east-northeast on the site, running north and south, putting most of the site in special hazard zones. At the time of development, this project would need to apply for a CLOMR and also receive a letter of map revision once those properties have been moved out of the floodplain. This would relieve future property owners from having to purchase flood insurance. In terms of the zoning history, this was zoned CI2 before the city of Maricopa was incorporated and has remained vacant. And it is also wrapped by an approved master plan community in PAD called Moonlight Ridge from 2021. In terms of conformance with the general plan, I'd like to go through these with you. Objective B1.1.3, we're talking about, or the general plan is talking about, develop a walkable community with commercial nodes and amenities for residents. The applicant will show you a presentation that would include some of those amenities. In terms of the commercial nodes, we think that with the improvement of this SR 238, the connectivity to the Trails network system, we can try to establish a node system. Goal B2.1 is what I'm excited about, to partner with developers to identify innovative strategy for providing housing diversity for all ages and income levels. It's nice to be able to bring you a goal. Objective G1.C.1.4, again, we're pointing again to the open space and trails, and recreation is an integral design element. In terms of conformance with the zoning ordinance for your consideration tonight, there's three things we're asking ourselves. If the zoning map is consistent with the general plan, staff analysis states that the proposed PAD meets the goals and objectives of the general plan, and based on the site's proximity to arterials to support both medium and high-density housing types. The second consideration, a change in district boundaries necessary to achieve the balance of land uses and to increase the inventory land of a given zoning district. I'd like to have you consider the City of Maricopa's housing needs assessment showed us continued support for higher density products that were strategically located along arterials. The housing update also noted a lack of condominiums and townhomes. Continued, and finally, the amendment will promote the growth of the city in an orderly manner and protect the public health, safety, peace, comfort, and welfare. Staff finds the proposed PAD will contribute to the 238 roadway improvements, increase pedestrian connectivity via trail corridors, and place traffic volumes appropriately along the arterial. Regarding public outreach, staff coordinated with the applicant to get the notice published at the time that the sign would be going up. Neighborhood was informed, and a notice was published in the Casa Grande Dispatch informing of neighborhood meeting, Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as City Council. The neighborhood meeting was held. There was nobody in attendance from the public, and the applicant published in a second notice to inform the public of this meeting tonight. Staff recommends the Planning Commission forward a favorable commission and approve case GPA 25-04 as well as PAD 25-04 for the PAD as amended based on the conditions of approval in Exhibit A. That completes my presentation. Does the commission have any questions?
Thank you, Larry. There we go. Thank you, Larry. Any questions for staff? Mr. Robertson.
Thank you, Larry. Couple questions. It talks about, when you talk about the retaining wall, the variance that they're asking for in the retaining wall, the first 2 feet is going to be retaining wall holding something back, and then the fence will be on top of it?
Yes, that's right.
So on one side, it'll be 8 foot, but on the retained side, it'll be 6 foot.
Vice Chair Clow, Commissioner Robertson, that's right.
Okay, just want to make sure I understood what we were talking about there. Thank you. Commercial node, you mentioned in the report, could you explain what we're envisioning there for a commercial node? I didn't see anything as part of the package.
Vice Chair Clow, Commissioner Robertson, that's right. I did note that we're talking about creating a location, hopefully a commercial node area that is connected. While this site doesn't bring you a commercial corner to develop, it is trying to bring this area of Maricopa into the city in a
So it wouldn't be specific
usable
to
way.
this project, but you have a vision for the area to
That's
add a
correct.
commercial node?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. We're asking to increase the density, and it says up to, what was the number? 24. Up to 24 dwelling units per acre. If this is approved, they have the green light to go that high? I don't think that's part of the initial plan, but they could.
Vice Chair Clow, Commissioner Robertson, that's right. The high-density residential allows up to 24 units per acre.
Okay. And once we have the PAD, they could move in that direction if they wanted to.
Vice Chair Clow,
Of course, they
Commissioner
have to go through the
Robertson.
additional steps, I understand all
Yes,
that.
we're trying to talk about both detached and attached standards tonight.
Yeah.
Should that change, we may be seeing this again.
Okay. And the only other concern I have is not really concern, just a question, comment. Townhomes, condos, and patio homes, rentals or to buy?
Vice Chair Clow, Commissioner Robertson, we hope for purchase. We're calling it single-family attached as opposed to detached that you'll see in the broader community side.
But it does not include apartments. but it could under a PAD.
We're calling this single-family single-family attached for the 12.9 acres. So
But the PAD would allow,
Commissioner Klob, I'm sorry, Vice Chair Klob, Commissioner Robertson, let's go back to these, if this helps, attached standards. So you're looking at multiple unit residential in the second column, as well as the high density residential in the third column. Because this is a custom-made development, custom-made standards for this development, we're seeing both option A and option B from the applicant, showing us, well, this really wouldn't be 7,000 square feet per lot, but would look more like 24 or 2,500 square feet per unit, if platted.
I guess my question is probably more general than, I know what their vision is and what they're chasing, but under a PAD, apartments would be allowed on this parcel.
What we're asking to approve are option A and option B for single-family attached.
Thank you.
So, Chairman, if I could just chime in on that as well. One of the things, sir, that we're also looking at here is the height standard that's associated with this. When you look at these development standards, yes, there's a maximum density you can go to in the high density designation, but based on what you're seeing right here, they could never get to that 24-acre dwelling unit based on the development standards that you see here. In order for them to get anywhere near that height, they would have to come back to us, and we would have to go back through this process again to achieve that objective. And that's what we were trying to do here, is we don't know yet what type of attached housing product, court, home, auto court, it could be condos, townhouse, we just don't know yet. But it gives us the flexibility to create a expectation, and a set of development standards that we can work with moving forward. Now, we fully expect that we may have to come back in and massage these at some point, depending upon what that comes in. But just based on the 38 feet alone, it essentially eliminates any vertical apartment, homes at Maricopa, just as an example, from going on that site.
Thank you, Rick.
Commissioner Yocum.
I noticed in the applicant's workup, the suggestion is made that we're going to have purple pipe infrastructure for non-potable irrigation and also wastewater management for 100% reuse, for a reuse model. Are we going to have that throughout the entire project in every phase? And is it going to apply to the commercial areas?
Vice Chair Klob, Commissioner Yocum, I would have to have you wait for the applicant to come to the lectern and answer that question on infrastructure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Staff?
Oh, what I can say is that we are talking, in terms of phasing, the only thing I'm in here to say is that would be the improvements along the 238, and then the northeast corner, I think, is what would be established first. Again, we'll have to look and see what the plans are with utilities.
I have a couple quick questions. If we can go back to that table again.
Okay.
Should have stopped you before you moved it, Larry, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So we have option A and option B. Are we to include one or the other in our vote tonight? How does this get decided?
Vice Chair Klob, we're looking to approve both option A and option B to replace multiple unit and high density residential.
Okay, so they would have full flexibility to do either one?
With the
they
height of
so
38
desire.
feet.
Okay. And if we can go back to the landscape plan, I'm going to nitpick, but I saw something and I got to ask the question. One more, sorry.
Oh.
That one, right there. It looks like there's two roundabouts on the 238. People are going to freak out. Is that something that's actually on the horizon?
Vice Chair Klob, I believe the first roundabout is a capital improvement project. I do not think the CIP includes the second roundabout.
Okay. All right. we'll see how that goes. Oh, Commissioner Robertson.
They're boasting a high percentage of open space in the plan, but I think when you look at it, most of it is drainage and wash. Is that correct?
Vice Chair Club, Commissioner Robertson, that is correct. With the VCOL wash running, this project has taken advantage of that, trying to create walkable space with vistas and broad horizon areas. The open space trail you can see is on the edge of that retention basin.
I really don't have any problem with that if it's developed as such and not just left a sand wash.
Right.
So just was curiosity. Thank you.
Vice Chair, if I just might interject, the applicant does have a presentation. Would y'all like to hear that? Now might be a good
Please.
time to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't have to ask questions.
Thank you, Larry. I'll bring the applicant up.
It's here. Forward and back.
Thank you. Works. Good evening, Mr. Chair, or Mr. Vice Chair, members of the Commission. There I am. Okay. It's all working. I am Stephen Anderson. I'm a land use attorney with Gamage and Burnham. For your record, my address is 40 North Central in Phoenix. I'm joined this evening by Michelle Santoro, who's a land use planner in our office, and we're also joined by Chandra McCarty from EPS Group. Hopefully, between the three of us, we'll be able to address your questions this evening. Our client is an entity called Dozer Land, which is the owner of this property. Dozer Land is obviously a corporate entity created for purposes of owning the property. The real owners are our family out of Nebraska. Alex S.A. and David McChesney are our principal contacts. They are not with us this evening. Told them they did not need to fly in. They are seeking to entitle this family-controlled asset to prepare it for sale. The staff recommendations are for approval, subject to 10 conditions. As Lorena noted in her staff report, we are agreeable with all 10 of the conditions that are reflected on Exhibit A. We have no community members, at least so far, who are interested in the project or have expressed concerns about the proposal. As she indicated, we've done a mailing. We had no responses to the mailing. And we also had a neighborhood meeting at which she was the only member of the public to attend. So we had no members from the community to attend the meeting. We hope, against the context of our agreeableness with the staff conditions and the staff recommendations for approval, that we can secure your recommendations for approval to the council this evening. But I'd be happy to go into a little bit of detail. I'm going to cover actually a lot of the same ground you just heard in the staff report. These two cases involve a single quarter section of land that's located a half-mile west of the northwest corner of SR 238 and Green Road. A quarter section is actually 160 acres. Our quarter section, as you can see, is shaved at the southwest corner by SR 238 as it bends to the north to accommodate the railroad. So we're actually 150 acres, 10 acres shy of a full quarter section. Our external context is as follows. We've again got SR 238 along our south perimeter. We've got the Akchen Golf Course to our west, and we're adjacent and surrounded on the north and east by the Moonlight Master Plan community, which is about 1,500 homes. As you know, that project is coming out of the ground right now. Our own master plan involves two applications. The big one is the downzoning of the entire 150 acres from the old county industrial to a PAD for residential uses. The smaller application is the minor general plan amendment for 13 acres at our southeast corner. That's to create an opportunity for some single-family attached housing in the future as our land develops. In addition to these two public hearing items, we also do have a subdivision already on file with the city. It's a preliminary plat. It's SUB 2507. As you all know, the Arizona legislature recently changed those laws, and so the staff is charged with review and approval of the plat. But that is on file and under review. Our internal context is indeed drainage. We do have drainage running along the south and west, along the east and west perimeter. You can see the wash on the west runs along the west perimeter of the site and then wraps to the south. And then we've got the vocal wash running along our east side. As the staff report notes, we're going to have to process a clomer and a loamer to proceed with development of the site. We have obviously viewed the drainage corridors as an opportunity on the site to create open space and recreational and trail opportunities both along the basin, along the flat of the basins, and also adjacent. And I will show you that when we get to the landscape plan. As the staff report notes, as a result of the big drainage on the site, we've got 50 acres set aside for open space. That's a third of the site is committed to the drainage and the recreational opportunities on the site. So here's the general plan amendment. Again, medium density residential on most of the site. We're leaving most of that in place with the southeast corner set aside for the proposed amendment to the high density residential. Here is the landscape plan with some detail on the amenities in the center of the community. And then you can see, as has already been pointed out, the tree-lined streets that provides corridors within the site itself. You can also see trails located around the perimeter of the residential. This one shows the open space plan with the green space in the center and also the open space trail connectivity around the sides of the site as well. And then we've got this one, which also Leanne showed to you. It shows some of the trail options over to the right-hand side of the exhibit. And then you can see in the lower right-hand corner, there's both with regard to the drainage trails, the intent is to have an elevated trail on the side of the corridors. Those are shown in the green on the exhibit. And then also to have trail access along the bottom of the washes as well. Circulation plan we've already talked about as well. The roundabouts have been discussed. I will leave that to you all. That is something of a fait accompli for us. As for the development itself, we are proposing 4 different lot sizes ranging from 40-foot wide lots to 70-foot wide lots in the single-family majority of the site, plus the single-family attached homes for the 13-acre high-density residential parcel in the southeast corner. We've proposed 489 single-family homes on the 137 acres of single-family residential detached. That's about 3.6 dwelling units per acre, plus the single-family attached area. To achieve the single-family attached homes, we do have to process the minor general plan amendment. As staff has detailed for you, the city's general plan indicates an express need for a variety of housing options along the SR 238 corridor, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. I'm going to jump back to the general plan amendment. As you can see, there was discussion about commercial, and you'll see that on the south side of SR 238, there is commercial in the general plan designation already. So I did want to point that out to you as well. You all talked a lot about the development standards and what could potentially happen here. I want to be clear with you all that it is our intention in our discussions with staff, which have been extensive and detailed, as Leanne noted, that we do not want to be able to build apartments on the site. And we've crafted the development standards with the idea that that will not be possible, as Rick indicated in his remarks. We've essentially used the PAD as a tool to narrow the scope of uses on the site. So there was discussion of the 24 dwelling units per acre. We don't think we can get there at all under the development standards we've proposed. Option A and option B keep us well below that standard. Neither option A nor option B would allow apartments. Option A and option B are intended to essentially limit our ability on the site. It's in the PAD document as revised and submitted last week as a result of our latest discussions with staff. And it's our understanding that if you all saw fit to recommend approval of the PAD, we would be locked into option A and option B. In essence, given your questions, what you might think about is option C is the one that's been knocked off the table. There's no option C, which is the apartments. And that was the intent of our discussions with staff. And so I wanted to make it clear that that is what we are up to on the site. I did want to offer a couple infrastructure comments for you. The water supplier here is Global. We do have a will serve letter in place with them already. And the city has, in fact, reviewed and approved our traffic impact analysis. And as you all have already observed, it does include the 2 multi-lane roundabouts for access off of SR 238. I want to go through the questions very quickly, make sure I touched on them. The description of the retaining walls is accurate. The idea behind the 8-foot retaining walls is that because of the significant drainage impact on the site, with an 8-foot wall, we can actually have less impact on our walls. If we did not have the right to do the 8-foot walls, we'd have to do tiers and we gobble up space. We didn't want to do that. If we have the 8-foot wall, we can avoid that. So that is the purpose for the request for the 8-foot walls. We talked about the commercial uses, about the density, about the apartments and the intent there. Rick has already mentioned the height limit on the site. That was expressly part of the intent there. And again, just to confirm for your record, it is our understanding that if someone in the future wanted to build apartments on the site, they would have to come back with a PAD amendment, which would go through the full public hearing process. They'd be here and then in front of the council in order to do that. That's our understanding of the staff intent, and that's what we're trying to do. There was a question about purple pipe. And the extent of it, my understanding is that the extent of it is for the single-family detached residential. I do not know that there would be the possibility or the need for it in the higher density residential single-family attached area. You don't get to talk unless you're going to come up here. If you want to know more about the purple pipe, please ask. We'll ask Chandra to come up. Talked about the roundabout, options A and B. I think those are the items I heard. We're obviously here and available to answer questions. We appreciate the opportunity to work with the staff. There's obviously been a lot of work going on from the beginning right up until last week. But we, again, seek your recommendation for approval this evening, subject to the staff conditions, and we are available to address questions. And Chandra can come up and address the purple pipe in particular if you'd like her to do so now.
Very good, thank you. Sure, come on up and let's hear about it.
Don't forget to introduce your name and record for the name and address for the record.
Okay. My name is Chandra McCarty. I'm with EPS Group. Address is 1130 North Alma School Road, Mesa, Arizona, 85201. The answer to the purple pipe question is probably not that exciting. I don't think that there is any reclaimed water available to connect to in the Smithinky Road that we're connecting to there. So we can do more research. It hasn't come up from our engineering reviews up until this point. They haven't asked about us using it or asked us to connect to it, and I don't think it's available. But we can add it to a note to find out.
I was just curious because I can't remember the last time I saw the purple pipe infrastructure mentioned in an application that we've had, and I was interested in what you were going to be doing with it and to what extent, and also likewise the wastewater management.
That is a good question. I can check in with John Shields and Eduardo, see if they have any updates on it, and we can try to get that back to you guys. Please, yeah.
As I mentioned before, there is a plat sitting behind this case. So a lot of the technical details that you would expect to be resolved on platting remain outstanding.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, sorry.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Apologize for my tardiness. I thought we were over at the library for some reason. Very much appreciate you being present, and your presentation was outstanding. I'm very pleased with the very nice residents with the pedestrian sidewalks. I mean, that is very nice. Unfortunately, my neighborhood only has sidewalks on one side. I never really got that, but that's very nice. I'm curious to ask you, why was there such a dramatic drop from the 7,000 square feet lot down to the 24? Is that, for me, it was more bang for my buck getting here. I mean, that size, I could fit almost 3 homes on my lot. Is that something that's desirable now? Or is that something just to make more money in the same size area? What are you basing that decrease in the option A and option B from the original ask?
Members of the Commission, this is illustrative examples that were folded into the PAD last week of the attached housing. The idea here is to create diversity of housing options without apartments. The interesting thing is when you take an apartment building and chop it off, what you're doing is spreading out into individual lots. And so you end up with patio homes and to think of, for example, that you can see illustrated here. So because the homes are smaller, the lots are actually smaller. But what you're getting there, what you're getting, is more shorter buildings on your site, as opposed to with an apartment, you would obviously get a lot of verticality and much more intensity. It's kind of counterintuitive because you were thinking, oh, I am shrinking my lot size, but the idea here is to create ownership opportunities so that people can have the right to purchase on individual lots, whereas in an apartment, obviously, you just have one lot, and it's a 4-story building, as staff indicated in their remarks. So this illustration really shows you what the outcome is with the smaller lot, is designed to create this opportunity for a townhome or patio home type of layout within the community. Does that address the question?
It does, and I guess I just have to wrap my head around that people are downsizing now, because it seems like they're downsizing, but their stuff isn't downsizing. I guess maybe that's why we're getting so many storage areas. They got to find somewhere to put their stuff. And so I was just curious, because you will make more money if the prices are staying the same for my home that I bought 10 years ago compared to what they're buying now. But I was just wondering if it was being asked by the future purchasers, because I can't see raising a family of 2 or 3 kids in something like this, but I was just curious to what brought that about. But thank you for
Sure,
answering.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the idea here is 2 things I would observe. First is these single-family attached are designed to replace or eliminate apartments. So in terms of the number of units, we expect the number of units to be cut significantly below the 24 dwelling units per acre. So we actually expect that as a result of this change, in theory, although it was never intended to have apartments available, that we will actually make less money than we would have. But you're correct that if this were single family detached, there would be far fewer units. The other thing I would keep in mind is that in this case, we're going to make sure that we're keeping our eye on the ball in the sense of the tail and the dog. The dog here is the single-family detached homes, which is the vast majority of the site. The general plan amendment covers 13 acres of a 150-acre site. So if I've done my math correctly, about 8% of the site. Let's not forget the other 92% of the site, which is really about creating a single-family residential community, complementary to Moonlight, our neighbor, but also being cognizant of the general plan goal mentioned by staff of creating some diversity of housing opportunities as well, especially along the 238 corridor.
Thank you. That does, and you're right. I visited the Moonlight area, and there's something very similar about the open spaces compared to Moonlight. Maybe that's just a sign of the times that there are going to be a lot of similarities. But thank you. You did answer my question.
Any other questions?
Mine's more of a comment, if you don't mind. Kind of to follow up Commissioner Maurice. Some of the things I see here, one are the waste management trucks, the transfer trucks that are moving in this area. That kind of makes me concerned with more traffic in that area with no improvements. Those roundabouts make me a little nervous with those trash trucks coming. And I also feel like, yeah, just the congestion of traffic with more houses and all of the things on 238 already is gonna be really crazy for some of our homeowners.
Thank you, and that's why I made the comment that I did. People are gonna freak out when they see this. Anybody else? I had a couple questions, comments, and concerns. I have met with several of the prospective city council people and some sitting council members regarding housing diversity within the city of Maricopa. And one of the concerns that we all came back with is, while we agree that we need affordable housing, small lot development, we also need more diversity. Part of that diversity is an attached for sale product. Another part of that diversity is larger lot developments. We want commercial here, we want business here, we have the new industrial triangle that we're promoting, and we want a hospital here. There's nowhere for executives, doctors, and so on to come. It appears that so many of in the last couple of years, developments that we've had come through are all looking at small lot developments, this included. I look at your layout, you're sitting at 79% of all the lots in this development are 45-foot wide or smaller. That's a 30 to 35-foot wide home. That's a garage and a front door for those that want to picture those neighborhoods. I'm not saying we don't need it. I'm just saying I believe that we have an abundance of already platted lots that meet that same criteria. And adding more to it is taking away that housing diversity. Now, granted, you have some additional, another 20 lots or so, or 20% that is greater than that, and I recognize that. But even so, those are still only 6,000 square foot lots. They're not. We're not meeting that necessarily that move up or that buyer. I look at my daughter and son-in-law who live in town, and they're in a nice little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot home. Other than buying an existing home, there's nowhere for them to move up to. They'd have to leave the city. And so this is the diversity that I'm not seeing occurring with our new developments. I'd like you to speak to that a little bit, and then I want to dive into the attached product.
Mr. Colleague Chairman, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, in terms of your observation, I think that that's a fair one. In terms of the opportunities for larger lots, the one thing I would remind you of regarding this particular proposal is that this is the PAD and the general plan amendment. The plat is in process, but it's a preliminary plat. This family is unlikely to be the builder on the site. This is obviously a plat that is designed to be, or a layout that is designed to be responsive to a market, and the market right now is demanding that. You are observing that the market demand in the future may change. The one good thing to keep in mind about zoning is that you can always go larger. So it would be possible if the market shifts to certainly add larger lots if that becomes an opportunity for the site. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying that it could be a possibility. Your actions tonight don't bar that. So we talked before about how options A and B on the PAD side, on the general plan amendment, are designed to prevent increases in density, but it doesn't work the other way. So this does not prevent larger lots from being accommodated in the future should the market agree with you, in essence. And so that would be my response to what you're seeing in our proposal, and indeed what you're likely seeing in Moonlight Next Door and across the community. But I don't disagree with your idea that it would be great if we saw some larger lot market interest. But at the moment, we are being responsive to what we're seeing in terms of the ability to potentially sell this land for development.
And my response to that is, one of my grandfather's favorite sayings is, if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And what I mean by that is, if all we're building are 4,500 square foot lots, if that's all that's available, that's all anybody's expecting. And and I've actually heard from some builders in, throughout the state that I've talked to, and they would like to build in Maricopa. They say, okay, I give it that. There aren't the lots. And these are builders that build larger lot, developments. And there isn't the availability. And you're absolutely right. Anything can be rezoned. You say we can make it larger. It's just as easy. Well, the last several years we've seen the opposite. We've seen it get smaller. So, I mean, the same is true either way. I'm just really concerned about the direction that the community is going. We're getting pigeonholed with only small lot developments. And whereas I agree that we need it, I'm not denying that fact, but we also need some more diversity. So, as it relates to your attached product, I'm actually a huge fan. I think that this is a product that this community desperately needs. I think that it is, high-density multifamily. If you've spent more than 10 minutes on Facebook, you'll realize that it's, most people in this community despise it. However, it is needed. But my biggest fear here is this doesn't evolve into what the goal here is, and that's having a for sale product, and it turns into, we've talked about, you can't build apartments to this, maybe not, but you could do single family for rent. And the duplexes that we already have all around town speak volumes to that. So the same thing could happen here. And I think that's the reality is once we approve this, it could evolve to that. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. There lies the concern, and also knowing the challenges that come with single family for sale and the liability aspect of it. So many architects, engineers, contractors won't touch it because of the liability behind it. And so the only thing that potentially could occur would be a townhome type project, but a little bit less liability. Condos are out of the question. I don't even know anybody's building condos right now. Maybe in Tempe, but that's about it in the valley. So with the limited, availability of professionals from a design and construction standpoint for a for sale product, combined, with the relatively ease of being able to, change gears, there's my reluctance. And I'd like for you to speak on that.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, told your city attorney, I hope not to put her on the spot, but I will. I suspect she will tell you that the law does not give us the latitude to regulate buy versus rent. That's my understanding of the law. I haven't discussed this with her, so I don't know what her answer is going to be on that point. With regard to condominium liability, I think that you may be aware that there was legislation introduced this session to fix that problem. That legislation has stalled for the moment. what the legislature, members of the legislature are telling members of the development community at this time is that they are expecting a striker to come back to fix the condo liability issue. The legislature certainly appears to be aware of the problem. They appear to be aware of it in a bipartisan way. I wish that they had got to advance the legislation that was originally introduced this session out of committee. They did not. But again, all of the feedback that the development community is receiving at the moment, which of course is not binding, but suggests that we are going to see a striker proposed before the session is over, with the hopes that we will get that condo liability problem that is unique to Arizona addressed. But again, that's what we hope happens.
If you'd like me to comment, yes, I agree. There is a statute that prohibits us from,
Yeah.
so it's not unique to this property. We will never be able to tell somebody that has to be for sale. So if that is a concern for this, it will be a concern for everywhere.
Very good. Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any speaker cards.
Yeah.
I'll open it up to the public forum. If there's anybody that would like to speak to this, please step forward. Please state your name and address for the record.
Randy Dodson, 42775 West Arter, here in Maricopa. My only concern is the roundabouts on 238 with the speed limit at, I think, 60 at that point, at least 55, which means 70 in Maricopian terms, right? It's going to be hard to go a roundabout and people to even be able to get out of the roundabout with those, as you said, trash trucks barreling down there and having a hard time coming to a stop or a reasonable slowness to go through it. So that's my only concern is the roundabouts on 238. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment section and bring it back to the dais for motion and discussion.
I would like to make a motion that we approve GPA 15-03.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Do we have any other discussion? I get a vote to approve by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Two nays?
I think you want to get a voice vote.
Yeah, can we do a roll call?
Commissioner Brems,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Nay.
Commissioner Klote,
Aye.
Commissioner Yocum,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Whittle.
Nay.
That motion passes 4-2.
Very good. And I will bring it back to PAD 25-04. Do I have a motion?
Chair,
we-
go ahead.
Can we have another public hearing? We should have two separate, they're two separate items with two separate public hearings. So if you'll just open and close it.
Need a public hearing on it.
I called both of them at the beginning, didn't I?
For the presentation, but not for the public hearing.
Oh, for the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I have any comments? Call to the public for the PAD? Okay. Open the public hearing for PAD 25-04. Do I have any comments from the public on that? Very good, I'll close that. I'll bring it back for PAD 25-04 for a motion.
So moved.
I have
I second it.
a motion and a second. Let's do another roll call.
Commissioner Brems,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Klote,
Aye.
Commissioner Yocum,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Whittle.
Nay.
That motion passes 4-2.
Very good. And with that, I thank the applicant. This This will take us to PZ 26-03, I have an election of officers.
Vice Chairman, members of the commission, as you know, our chairman resigned effectively last month, so we have a vacant seat. We can entertain motions to elect a chairman of the 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission. And with that said, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Do I have any nominations for chair?
I'd like to nominate Vice Chair Klob to the chair position.
I'd like to second that motion.
Motion and second. All in favor?
We have to see if you have
That's
any
sorry.
other, yeah.
Any other motions for chair? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
I guess I would have liked to ask, do you accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Being that you are now elected the chairman of the 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission, we now need a vice chair.
Very good. I would like to nominate Robert Brems for vice chair.
I second that motion.
I have a second. Any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
That was easy.
With that, we will, any reports from commissioner staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to go over a couple things here real quick. Commissioner Thomas, I apologize for sending you over to the library tonight. But I would just like to point out that March 23rd, which will be our next P&Z meeting, will be held at the library. That's going to be the first off-site meeting for the Major General Plan Amendment, the 2026 update. We'll be having that agenda come out possibly by the end of this week, no later than Monday next week. But that's a very critical meeting. Vice Chairman Brems, you'll be leading that meeting as chairman will be out of the country for that. We do have action items on that agenda for that evening. One new item that you've seen before and another item that was continued probably 6 months ago. So that'll be coming back to you there. So we need the five of y'all to be there. I'm not aware of our replacement yet, so I don't know when we're going to be able to seat a new planning commissioner. But I'm planning that we will probably be just the five of y'all for that March 23rd meeting. The April 27th meeting will be here at City Hall, and that'll be the second Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the 2026 General Plan Update. That will be an action item, and I'm hoping by then that we'll be at full dais capacity and normal business action. So next two meetings going to have a lot of information coming y'all's way. We really look forward to that. With that, sir, that concludes my presentation, and I'll send it back to you, sir.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Robertson, you had something to bring up?
Yeah, Rick, I have an ask, or maybe it's something that needs to go on a future agenda. You'll guide me, I'm sure. In the last period of time, the state legislature has taken some action that's curtailed some of our authority up here and taken some of our work away from us, so to speak. I would like to recommend, I don't know if it needs to be a motion. If it does, we'll put it on the agenda for next meeting. But I would like to hear from you guys at the end a couple things. A staff report that includes DRPs that have been approved by staff. We get some of it, but then we never hear about it again unless we read it in the paper. that it's been approved. The same with preliminary plats, final plats, and construction permits. So what I'm asking for, maybe not every meeting, maybe just the first meeting in a month, give us an update, how many permits they're building. Permits been issued, staff has reviewed 5 DRPs this past month. They've all been approved, and we have so many pre-plats on the table or some final plats that were approved. Does that sound like a reasonable ask?
Chairman Klob, Vice Chairman, Commissioners, no, I don't think it's an odd ask or an unreasonable ask by any means. As I'd said to you, I believe back in January, we intended to try and bring staff updates on different aspects of our business to y'all on a quarterly basis, and we're still planning that. We're a little in the weeds right now trying to get this general plan going through, but we, for example, have a legislative update coming your way. We have some other code and design standard stuff coming your way. So I think it's very appropriate to add that type of language to it. And we can even come in with the construction permits, single-family residential permits. We can give you an update that we get on a regular basis every quarter. So I'll be happy to put that together and bring that information to you and share it with you. Let me get through the next few weeks and get settled, and then I promise you second quarter I'll come back before this commission with all that information.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether that was something that we have to have consensus on in a motion. Does it have to be agendized to make it official, or how does that work, Tina?
No, I think we've gotten direction, and
Okay.
we can try it, and then if you have different direction, we can tweak it until we get it right.
Couldn't that go in your comments at the end of each meeting?
It certainly could, Chairman, Commissioners. We can add that to, let me take a look at it and see how we can put that together. I think a little presentation, to be honest with you, sir, I prefer, because it's a, educational opportunity for the public as well. So we can, let me work with it a little bit. I like that suggestion, Commissioner Yoakum, but I think we might get a little better bang for our buck if we make it a focus item moving forward for not only staff, but commission and the public as well.
That was probably the basis of my ask was, the public as well as, because I go looking for this stuff. What happened,
Right.
I don't think we want to have it as a discussion or action item, obviously, just information only. Otherwise, we tend to get in the weeds sometimes. We don't want to start bantering back and forth on your report.
Yep.
Your report should just be what the facts are for that period and call it good. Appreciate that. Thank you.
No, I think that's a very good observation, and I would also just point out, as Tina reminded me, that we have the new website, the What's New in Maricopa. So there's some information on that. We may be able to add additional information to it. So let me take a look at it and get through these next couple of months, and then I'll come back to you with something we can start with, sir, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you. The only thing I'd like to add possibly to that would be, we heard tonight about a potential law that's working its way through as it relates to condos and so on. And there's, every year, there's just so many development related, whether it be zoning, planning, building, maybe a quarterly overview of kind of here's some of the laws that either are tracking to be approved or have been approved, so that in October we're not hit with, oh, by the way, here's what we got to ramrod through to get it approved by January 1. And the public understands some of that too, and can prepare for it.
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioners, I understand 100%. If we go back to January, it was my intention to come back with y'all with a legislative update. either this month or next. There is I don't want to, there are quite a few bills that are going through right now. There's a lot going on at state legislature right now. Things are moving forward, things are coming off. We've been reviewing numerous bills over the last couple of weeks. Rudy's been buried in them. Some of those have gone away now, so we're trying to time it so that we're talking about pertinent information when we come to that. But I believe that we will have that legislative update before you here coming very shortly. And when I say shortly, in the next 4 or 5 meetings, once we get it settled in. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that, you know, it might be premature to talk about it in a public setting at this point. So give me a little bit more time and Rudy will be back before you.
The only thing I'd add to that would be, I actually just spoke on a bill a couple weeks ago, and been working with that as it's tracking through, and having the ability to potentially get in front of some of these things that may be detrimental to the city of Maricopa, to be able to, you know, for us as, should we so desire as commissioners, to email our representative to saying, you know, hey, you're messing with us here.
Absolutely.
These are the ramifications.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect Phoenix, but it's going to be detrimental to how we operate.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I would say you're absolutely right, agree with you 100%, and I can assure you that leadership and Katie Proctor, you know, who is our legislative liaison, are all over this. There are communications that are happening sometimes on a daily basis, and I feel the utmost confidence that we're up to speed on what's going on there. And we will continue to bring that to y'all as appropriate.
Very good. Any other comments? Don't see the need to go to executive session. So with that, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.
Second.